am your business mathematics teacher, Mrs. Rizal Renton. Today we're going to discuss about subtraction of fraction. But before that, I will show you a picture. Please try to observe this picture. So look at that picture. What have you observed? When was the last time you said thank you? And you hear the word thank you for what you have done, favor for other people. Actually, simple word of thank you is an appreciation. So that is our core value for today, is about appreciation. In our subject, we should appreciate things that we are doing, like on how to appreciate that applying different situations, especially in our subject, discovering and even formulating our activities in connection to our real life situation. So that is about appreciation. So before we go to our lesson for today, let's have a short review about what we had discussed before. So this is about adding fraction. In the problem that I was given to you last time, so I said I'm going to reveal your answer so that you can be able to know if you have already followed the process on how to compute that addition of fraction. So in this problem, Rizal shared 1/6 meter of ribbon and Beth shared 9 meters of ribbon to their classmates. How many meters of ribbon did they share to their classmates? So that is our problem this time. In order to get this answer, so we have to apply the steps on how the following solving problem or even a word problem. So these are the steps on how to follow on solving the problem. As you can see, the first one, there you are. The facts means what are the given fraction or given numbers in the problem. Second problem, what is asked in the problem. And operation, this time, this is a kind of operation, or what do you think kind of operation that we are going to use in order to supply the solution for the problem. So you are going to think, what do you think the fundamental operation that we are going to use. And the last is solution. It is about finding the answer. Okay, so you have to listen carefully about this process. So going back to our figure, as you can see, to our problem. As you can see in the figure, there is 1/6 and 2/9 in our problem, right? So as you can see in this picture, the figure that the denominator of this number are different. So you have to look for the LCD. Since our LCD before that we used is 18. So you know already how did we get this answer. Okay? So you have to find the LCD. That then, we are going to use the LCD to supply these multiples of numbers of 6 and 9 to make this in a similar fraction. So we divided the 18 into 6. The answer is 3. So we multiply it in the numerator. The answer is 3. So 3. And then the next is 18 divided by 9. So the answer is 2. You're going to multiply this into the numerator. So the answer is 4. So if we're going to add this with a similar fraction, so that is the proper of adding similar fraction, all you have to do just add the numerator to other numerator. So let's do. So 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 7. So you have to copy or retain the denominator if it is in a similar fraction. So the answer is 7 over 8. So that would be our answer for our problem that I given you. So that is our review for today. So let's go to our lesson proper. Since we are talking about, we are discussing about the subtraction of fraction. So these are the objectives. So at the end of this lesson, we able to compute. First, we able to compute similar and decimal fraction of subtraction. The next is analyze fraction word problem. Solving problems of fraction involving subtraction and fraction. So these are the objectives that we are going to tackle until the end of this discussion. So again, to find the process of this concept, so let us use again the steps to follow the solving problem. But this time, it is involving subtraction of fraction. Okay, so the same way there is a facts. There are facts of or given problems, what operation to be used, and find the solution of this problem. But do not stop here of finding the answer of the problem. But we have to consider also on how to follow the rules of subtracting similar fraction. So there are two ways. We have to the rules of subtracting similar fraction, and we have to know also the subtracting with the similar fraction. So let's go for that. Subtracting similar fraction. So in this rule, first is subtract numerator, and if there is a denominator, you have to copy. So simply say that you have to subtract numerator to another numerator, and then copy whatever the denominator. This is simply from the subtracting similar fraction. And if you have an answer, you must express in the lowest term. So try to see this figure. So this example, 8 over 5 minus 1/5. So considering that this is numerator is 8, so we have to subtract this to another numerator of 1. So 8 minus 1, the answer is 7. And then copy the denominator of 5. As you can see that this 5 is in a improper fraction. So you have to change it into a mixed number so that you can able to get the lowest term. So that is the rules on how to subtract similar fraction. But then we have also considered the rules of subtracting the similar fraction. Okay? For subtracting similar fraction, so we have to find the LCD of the given similar fraction, as what we did from the addition subtraction. Use the LCD to change the similar fraction to similar fraction. We also allow or follow the steps in subtracting similar fraction. If our answer is in the similar fraction rather, we have to express our answer in an allowed step. So that's it. So on how to subtract the similar fraction. So therefore, we should apply these two rules of finding the answer of the problem. For further knowledge about this, subtracting fraction either similar or dissimilar, so let's have this problem. This is a problem illustration. A science teacher has a 3/4 liter of salt water. He used 1/3 of the salt water for an experiment. how much salt water does the teacher have left. So if you're trying to get all the facts, those are 3/4 of liter of water and 1/3 of the salt water. Okay, the problem is how much salt water does the teacher have. So to simplify or supply this information, let us use our rules and process on how to solve this problem. Okay, so let us apply the steps on how we did we get this answer of 5/12. Since our facts are already in this figure, as you can see, the denominator of this fraction are not the same. So therefore, we have to look for the LCD, right? So what do you think the LCD of 4, the multiples of 4, and the LCD of multiples of 3? So normally, if you're trying to count by counting by 4 and counting by 3, as you will arrive the LCD having a common denominator, so the answer would be 12. So that is the multiples of 4 is multiplied by 3, and the multiples of 3 multiplied by 4. So if you're going to multiply this both numerator and denominator of this fraction, so let us find the answer. So 3 times 3, the answer is 9. Then 4 times 3, the answer is 12. The other fraction coming from the 1/3 of salt water, so 1 times 4, the answer is 4. 3 times 4, the answer is 12. So after we used our LCD to make this the similar fraction into similar fraction, so therefore we have to do the process of subtracting similar fraction. So we have to subtract. So 9 minus 4, the answer is 5. And copy the denominator of this number of 12. So the answer would be 5/12. So what do you think? How can you imagine that 5/12 it looks like? So what do you think the figure or any graphical presentation that can support your and express your answer? So this time, I will show you a picture and try to observe this picture. Okay, this is coming from the liter of water, as you can see. But in this liter of salt water, we have to use only 3/4 of salt water prepared by the teacher for an experiment. So under here, if we are going to cut this or divide this into 4, so since we are going to get the 3/4, and in this experiment, they have to use, or they've been used 1/3 of the salt water. So this is, if we are going to divide or cut this into 3 of 3/4 of salt water, this would be the 1/3 of salt water. Okay, if we're trying to cut this into 3. So as you can see, there are still 2/3 of the remaining or left from the 1/3 of the 3-parted part of this salt water. So try to look at the answer of this 2/3 of the remaining left from the 3/4 of by the 1/3 of salt water that have been used, and still on the process of 1/4 of the liter of 3/4 of salt water that being prepared by the teacher. So we are trying to subtract this 2/3 minus 1/4. The answer is 5/4. So this would be the remaining amount of salt water that being not being used for this experiment. Okay, so 5/12. This is the way on how it looks like the figure. Okay, so that only shows what 5/12 looks like. So this time, I will give you another example of this concept. So the problem is 3 and both 4/5 of pizza she shared 1/3 of the pizza of her classmate. What part of the pizza was left? So this time I will give you this problem, but you are going to answer this by your own. So follow the steps of solving problem. Just make sure that you're going to post this video so that you can able to answer this problem. You are going to answer this problem alone. Okay? And then I will give you time to answer this. Then later on I will reveal the answer. Okay? So that you will know what is the answer. But this time you are going to pause the video and then answer this problem. Okay, I think they have already your answer. So I will show you the answer. But tomorrow I'm going to reveal again how to solve this problem. Okay, so the answer will be 750. That is the size of pizza that you are going to receive from each of 4 people. Supposed to be that is 1/5. So supposed to be that is 1/5 of the size of the pizza. But since you distributed or you shared the 1/3 of this pizza to your friend or classmates, so therefore this will be the part of 750 size of pizza. Again, to know the process, or you really understand the process of subtracting fraction, so tomorrow I'm going to reveal the proper steps of how did you find this answer. Okay, so another thing for subtracting is mixed number without renaming. As you can see in this problem or this situation, there are several methods that you are going to use. But this time, let us focus on the third method. So in this case, any of this method you applied, you still came up with the same answer. But again, I told you, we have to focus on this method 3. Okay, the method 3, as you can see, this is about mixed number subtracted to make another mixed number. So all you have to do, just change this mixed number into improper fraction. And also this one, change this mixed number to improper fraction. So let us change this. So 5 times 3, 15 plus 1, I think it's plus 3, that the answer is 18. And the next is 2 plus 2, so 2 times 2 plus 1, the answer is 5. So whatever the denominator, you have to copy, you have bring it down, and then since this is these denominators are different, having different denominators, so you have to look for the LCD as what we did before. So after finding that the LCD supposed is 10, so as we all know that multiples of 5 and 2, the LCD will be 10. How to supply this LCD to make this denominator of the similar change into similar? So all you have to do, just divide 10 divided by 5. The answer is 2. And then multiply it to numerator. So the answer is 36. Another from this subtrahend. So 10 divided by 2. The answer is 5. Multiply this 5. The answer would be 25 over 10. So that is another answer. Now, since we have already a similar fraction, therefore, the answer would be 36 minus 25. The answer is 11. And then bring down or copy the denominator of 10. So as you can see, our answer is 11, 10. This is improper fraction. So we have to change this improper fraction to mixed number. To make this answer in the lowest term, all you have to do is just divide this 11 by 10, so the answer is 1 and 1/10. And this would be our answer for this subtracting mixed number without renaming. Okay. Actually, why is it renaming? Renaming is something that we need to change or borrow from another fraction that has an equivalent value of 1 in order that the minuend of the fraction is bigger than the subtrahend. So that is the rules for subtracting minuend to our subtrahend. So that is without renaming. But in this case, I want to give you knowledge to express the rules of mixed number by renaming. So it means to say that when we talk about renaming, we have to change the minuend into bigger one to make can be subtracted the subtrahend. Okay, so let's find the rules for the mixed number of renaming. The first one is you have to find the LCD. Then supply the LCD to form the proper fraction having the same denominator. Okay? And then after supplying our LCD for our fraction, to rename the fraction. Why should I rename? Because there's something different from the other fraction that you're going to subtract. Then after that, you've done your rename the fraction, then arrange the mixed number into a improper fraction. Then, after arranging this, perform the operation of subtraction. Okay? So, perform the operation of subtraction. Then, answer should be expressed in the lowest term. So, those are the rules of mixed number by renaming. Should be recorded. Okay. So, in order to understand clearly about this, applying or these rules of mixed number, let's have an example to support this answer or to support this concept. So a jug of drinking water contained 17 and 1/12 gallons. After a day or after 1 day, 15 and 3/8 had been used. How much water was left in the jar? If you're trying to think about how much contain water inside jug, so let's apply the rules on how to find the answer of this. So the first one is you have to find the LCD. As we all know that the example of this is 17 and 1/12 minus 15 and 3/8. So therefore, since they have different in denominator, so we have to look for the LCD. And what is that? The amount of LCD. The amount of LCD here in our problem is 24. So let us apply this 24. As you can see, the LCD is 24. So let us apply this by dividing 24 into 12 and then multiply this 2 into the numerator. So the answer is 2. The next, in the subtrahend part, so 24 divided by 8 times 3, the answer is 9. Okay, so after simplifying this LCD to make this the similar fraction into similar fraction, and then try to observe the answer of this denominator. Although we had already our denominator having the same value. So try to look at the numerator of the minuend or the fractional part of the minuend. Try to look at this answer. This is 2, right? So if you're trying to look at the subtrahend, numerator of the subtrahend, the minuend is smaller than the subtrahend. In this case, we have to rename this minuend. So we have to borrow from the subtrahend. So that's it. We are going to borrow. And then, so I will look for the cursor. So that's it. Now, so since our 2 cannot be divided, cannot be subtracted to 9, so therefore we have to borrow from the denominator of this subtrahend. So let us get from the whole part of this subtrahend. So we have to use our denominator to make this equivalent of 1. So that is 24 by 24, or 24 divided by 24. So the answer would be 1. And that one will be applying for the subtraction from 17, the whole part. So as you can see, 17 minus 1, this one is coming from the whole number, or the equivalent one of the other part of the subtrahend. So 17, it's always 17 minus 1. We should subtract 1 for every borrowed number or fractions from the other part. So let us apply another fractional part. So 2 over 4 plus 24 by 24. So 2 plus 24, the answer is 26. And therefore, having the same denominator, you should copy the denominator of 24. So the answer would be 16 and 26 and 24 based on this minuend. But you have bring down the subtrahend. Since this minuend is bigger than the subtrahend, you can be able to subtract this fraction. Again, so subtract whole number to another whole number. 16 minus 15, the answer is 1. And then 26 minus 9, the answer is 17. And then copy the denominator of 24 to complete this mixed number. And the answer is now is 1 and 17, 24. As you can see that this one is an equivalent of denominator of 24 by 24. So this will be your basis on how to give this one for the 17 whole part. And this 24 by 24, you have to add from this fraction. So having equivalent of 1. So the answer is now 1 and 17 and 24. Drinking water was left in the container. So that is the rules on how to follow mixed number by renaming. You are going to get simply say that if the minuend is smaller than the subtrahend, you cannot be able to subtract. So you have to borrow from the other part. But if the minuend is bigger than the subtrahend, do the process of subtracting mixed number. Okay? So in order to understand clearly about what we are discussing, let me summarize our lesson for today. Okay. In subtracting similar fraction, we subtract numerator and denominator. Okay? So normally, whatever the denominator, we have to copy. If the similar, find the LCD. And then supply the LCD to make the similar fraction into similar fraction. The way in the other fraction to be subtracted are mixed number. If it is mixed number, evaluate. What you are going to evaluate, you have to change the mixed number to a proper fraction. The same way to the other fraction, a fractional part of the problem. Next, if the fraction in the minuend is smaller than the fraction in the subtrahend, so you have to rename should be done. So all you have to do, just make sure you have to borrow from the other fractional and then make use of their denominator to be your sources that has an equivalent of 1. So you're going to use this from the whole number if necessary. So you always subtract it from the whole number. And then if a fraction or mixed number to be subtracted from the whole number remain, the whole number is also required, as what we did to our problem. So whatever you answer, we should be expressed through lowest. Okay? So that is the rule. Those are the rules on how to follow subtracting similar or similar fraction having different methods of subtracting numbers, either renaming or without renaming. Okay? So I'll give you a seatwork just to let me know if you really follow our topic for today or discussion. So try to answer these exercises. For this seatwork, try to answer all our activities. Remember, practice, it makes you perfect. That's all for today. I hope you have learned a lot and stay home. Make sure that if you are answering this activity, you have to write this on your newsprint and then file it in your portfolio so that when the class is resumed, so you can present your answer to your all activities in the school. So I think that's all for today, and I hope you learned a lot.